Winter, you're going to be free tonight, right? We're having a little get-together for drinks tonight, so please come around 8 p.m. at this place. Hey, Winter, do you mind replying to me?
Sorry, I was just having a meeting at work. I'm not going to be able to make it tonight. Sorry.
Huh? You of all people are going to act cocky like that?
Well, you're asking me to go out with you all at 8 p.m. tonight, and it's almost 5 already.
I'm sure once you get out of work today, you're just going right home to watch TV all night, right? If it's something that you really want to watch, just record it and watch it later.
Actually, I have plans to meet with someone else tonight. And when it comes to that little get-together you're throwing, it's meant to help you find someone to date, right? Every time you invite me out, you always say it's to have drinks, or it's a class reunion, but in reality, every time it's been in order to help you find a man, right?
Well, if I said they were all meant to help me find a man, you would never come, right?
Well, I don't have a reason to go. You just bring me to those events to use me as someone you can bash on, thinking that'll help you find somebody. All that does for me is embarrass me.
Listen, Winter, I'm just trying to be a good friend by showing the both of us around to some men in the hopes that the both of us end up with husbands someday. So if anything, I'd like you to thank me for doing that all the time.
Well, it's never fun for me, though.
Well, because you're supposed to find someone after me. I want you to sit beside me and take the crap I give you, and then once I've gotten myself the man I want, you're free to go find yourself one. Honestly, it's the best this way, because I help make you look more attractive. Let's be real here, you're a very basic woman with not that many features that men want. So by having me as a friend at all these events, I am practically handing you a power-up that you can use. Sorry that you're just that out of touch with the man-hunting game, that it makes you feel bad when you have to sit next to 100 like me. If you don't have more friends like me around you, you know, the loud and crazy type, then men are never going to notice you.
Well, I don't like any of that, hence why I don't want to go anymore.
Oh, come on now. Back in elementary school, and back in middle school, and back in high school, I was always there by your side helping you find boys, right? And when it came to the high school beauty contest, I was there helping you win.
I really never liked to stand out that much, though, so you're forcing me through all of that was awful.
But because of me, you became pretty popular, right?
I'm not so sure about that.
Well, anywho, I've already gotten some people together to go out to that matching party, so I need you there. You have no other choice now but to come. Tonight I have a lot of fighting spirit, and I don't want it going to waste.
You always have a lot of fighting spirit, though, when you do go to those things.
But today's different. Today, a really popular comic artist is going to be there, and he has sold millions of copies of his latest series.
A comic artist?
Right now, his most popular series is being made into a TV show, and he has been in all sorts of magazines. He is so popular that I bet most of the people we hang out with know him. And today, I am planning on making that man my best friend, and hopefully, something more in the future. One of my other friends that happens to know him personally said they'd introduce me to him as well today.
Fiona, are you even interested in things like comic books?
Not really. Comics are for nerds, right?
I don't think that's a good way of looking at it. Right now, comics and movies and shows based on them are a big deal. And they make a ton of money with their collectibles and toys as well.
Yeah. I don't really care for comic books, but I do happen to care for money.
Money?
Being a famous comic artist doesn't just get you all the attention, but the money as well. The fact that he has a TV series in the making right now based off his comics tells me he's in for another large paycheck. I'm sure everyone is going to want to watch his series. Once that's over, movie producers and people like that will be flooding to ask him to make more movies and material off his comics. And what's even better about him is that since he works on comics all the time, he's most likely never out of his house for anything. Meaning that once I've made him mine, there will be no other woman that can get to him, right? He is the #1 person that I need to be getting married to right now.
I wonder. But if you both don't share some of the same hobbies, I'm not sure if things will work out in the long run.
You're a real idiot. That's why you still haven't found a man to marry yet. The most important thing when it comes to marriage is money. And the other most important thing is someone that will give you space. I want a man with lots of money who is too focused on his work to be bothered with me.
Then what you're wanting is not a partner, but someone you can get money from without having to really do anything with them. Really, I think you're better off finding yourself a bank or something to do that for you.
That's 100% correct. The man is supposed to make the money in order to make his woman happy, and in return, her being happy will keep her around him longer. Understood? In other words, I'm going to get myself that walking pile of cash who calls himself a comic artist today. If I'm able to make things work between him and I, then my life will be set forever.
Well, if that's what you're doing, then I really can't go. I already have plans and I really don't care to be your wingman or whatever anymore. And I think after today, you can just stop inviting me to go out with you all together. Now I have some work to finish up on, so that's it from me today.
You don't want any leftovers? I will be taking the comic artist tonight, but you can have access to all the other men there. Hey, Winter! If you regret not coming tonight, I don't want to hear about it. If you start asking me to introduce you to any men after this, I'm not going to bother. Hi, Winter. It's been too long. How have things been between you and Fiona recently? I heard from her that a little while ago you and her went to a matching party, right?
Hi, Aunt Laura. Sorry for not talking to you in so long. The only reason I went with her to that party the last time is because she said it was a class reunion. But in reality, it was a matching party. Seems all she really cares about right now is finding herself a man at those strange events.
She just wants to hurry up and get married soon is all. Anyway, I contacted you today to ask you something.
What do you have to ask?
Last night, were you at a restaurant called The Bread?
How do you know about that?
Well, that restaurant happens to be run by my husband's friend. And since yesterday was their opening ceremony, we went there to have some drinks and food to celebrate with his friend.
Is that right? Well, can you please tell Uncle Rick's friend that it was very delicious, the dinner we ate last night?
I'll let him know. So, was the man you were with last night your boyfriend?
So you saw me with him?
Is he your boyfriend?
Yes, he is. The man I was with was my boyfriend. Well, actually, you should call him my fiancé now.
Fiancé?
He only just proposed to me a little while ago, so not many people know quite yet. We haven't even gotten around to planning a lot of it out yet either, and the only people who really know about this are my parents.
Well, well, well! So you're going to end up getting married before even Fiona could! I mean, ever since you and her were little girls, you've both been such good friends with one another and done everything together, right? And, well, from what I could tell, she was always ahead of you when it came to becoming a woman and things like that, right? She was the one to learn how to write before you, how to cook before you, how to get a boyfriend before you. She's always been ahead of you in all those sorts of things. So I was really expecting her to be the first one to get married before you as well, but... Well, you've really pulled ahead of her here, getting married before she could even find herself a man.
Yeah.
Where is he working right now? How much does he make in a year? Where is he from?
When we get married, we can talk about all of that more.
You can tell me a little about him right now. Where is he living right now? I could see by the way he was dressed that he's a very professional man, and he had a very nice watch on his wrist at the time. Where did you ever meet a man like that?
I'm sorry, Aunt Laura. I have a meeting to get to for work right now, so I'm going to have to excuse myself. In a little bit, once we figure things out, I'll let you know about the wedding and all that. And as for this whole thing of having a fiancé and getting married thing, can you please not tell Fiona about it yet?
Why can't I tell her?
I'd like to tell her myself. Now I have to go, so I'll talk to you later.
Hey, Winter, what the hell is going on here? You turned down my invite to come with me to find ourselves some men to go on a date with your fiancé?
She told you?
And from what I heard, he seems to have a lot of money. There's no way you found a man like that.
I told her not to tell you yet because you'd be a pain in my butt about it.
My mom would never keep quiet about something like this.
I guess so. She's always been the type who can't keep her dang mouth shut, always spilling the beans about everything and anything in order to create drama.
Now you tell me about this fiancé?
I'm getting married, Fiona.
I'm not messing around right now. Who said you could get married before me?
Is that a bad thing?
It sure as hell is. I should be the one getting married before you.
I don't think there's ever been a set path for who gets to get married first.
I've also been shown a picture that my mom took. He is way too good looking for a plain loser like you. And that wristwatch he has on, that's one of those insanely expensive ones, right?
She took a picture of us?
She took it in secret.
You're kidding me. She'd do something like that.
So, is it true that you're planning on marrying that sexy man?
Well, that's what him and I have been talking about. We haven't chosen an exact date yet for the wedding, but we're wanting one soon.
Where will it be happening at?
As of right now, we're thinking of having it in Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Both of us don't really like to stand out at all too much, so we've been looking for a place that's away from everyone. There we can just have a close family and friends come, and that'll be enough for us. And since this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing for us, we decided we want to have the wedding at a nice, secluded resort for all of our guests.
So you're going to be getting married before me, and to add salt to the wound, you're having your wedding in Hawaii? Do you really think it's okay to be that stupid? Because to me, it sure as hell isn't okay. Winter, that fiancé of yours and that wedding, you give both to me right now.
Huh? What are you talking about?
I'm saying that I'll take your place for you. He has enough money to throw a wedding in Hawaii, right? And when looking at his face, there's not a thing wrong with it. He also has a good sense of fashion based off the clothing he had on. A man with that kind of high-brand, expensive clothing on would do so much better with me as his wife.
High-brand, expensive clothing. Was the clothing he had on yesterday really that expensive looking to you?
You really have no idea what's going on, do you? Everything he was wearing was very high-brand fashion that is hard to obtain in this town. Hard to obtain anywhere besides, like, New York City or something.
Well, I never knew anything about that, but what I'm more concerned about right now is you asking me to hand over my fiancé when we only just got engaged. There's no way I'd let you have him, right?
Back in high school, you gave me a boyfriend, right?
You stole him from me, Fiona. He was my first love, and you stole him.
Then I guess I'll be stealing another of your boyfriends.
What? Do you have any idea what you're saying right now? This is a lot different than a high school boyfriend. We are engaged right now.
And? It doesn't matter to me what your guys' titles are. It's far too easy to steal from you, so that's what I'm going to do.
You cut that out! You need to go out and find a single man of your own to get at one of those parties or whatever the hell you've been doing. Stop bothering me with your crazy ideas.
And the most recent party was a bust. That comic artist that was said to be coming never showed up. And at the age we're at now, all the men that show up to these parties are all useless to me. So I'm done trying to find myself a husband there.
What the heck?
So now that my mom was kind enough to tell me about your fiancé for me, I'm clear to go and get him. Thank you for finding him for me. It's a lot easier to just steal men from someone else than it is to go to those matching parties.
Wait a second, Fiona. Right now, my fiancé and I are in a very important and busy part of our lives. Stop trying to ruin this for us. Fiona?
Winter, are you doing all right? I'm sure you're not, though. I was able to steal your fiancé after all. And right at this moment, he's in this room with me. And it wasn't just him that I was able to get, but your wedding that's in Hawaii as well. Sorry about that.
Huh? I'm having my wedding right now here in town, though.
What? What are you talking about? Your fiancé is literally sitting right beside me now.
Actually, I want to know what you're talking about, Fiona. I was just out on stage with my fiancé a second ago getting married, and we're preparing for the dance right now.
Hold it right there. What is going on here?
Honestly, I'm not sure myself. A little while back, you were going on about how much you wanted to steal my fiancé from me, but for the past 3 months, nothing has been happening between us. I just assumed you gave up or something.
Wait, what's this about having your wedding right now in town? You should be having the wedding in Hawaii, right?
I suppose we did want to have the wedding out there, but I had a lot of people asking to come to my wedding. And since the amount of people wanting to come would be too many for the Hawaii-based location, we ended up having the wedding here. There is a famous person at this wedding after all, so it makes sense that a lot of people would want to come to it.
Famous person? Who?
My fiancé. And actually the vows are already over with, and we handed in the marriage papers already, so I really should be calling him my husband now.
What famous person?
The comic artist that you were saying everybody knows about?
Huh? Comic artist?
You do remember the time I told you I got hired to work for a publishing company, right? And the most recent series that he got started on happens to be published by the company I work for, and I manage the publishing of his work. When the comics start going out on the shelves, the one in charge is going to change. But as of right now, I'm the one that oversees all the work done to help create the actual published material. But that's not all I've been working on, as I'm also helping him get his comic series turned into movies.
You said that I said everyone knows him. Is he Will? Will Hamilton?
That's him.
He was the man that was supposed to come to that party to see me.
Right, and when I went out to dinner with him that night, he told me all about you.
He told you about me?
He said something along the lines of one of his friends wanting him to go to this matching party to meet a woman his friend knows. But of course my husband said no to that. He's actually told me all about how once he became famous, there have been all these people inviting him to parties trying to get him hooked up with someone. And of course, every single time he said no to them. And that's why on the day you were expecting to meet him, he said no to the invite because he had plans with me. Not like he was going to go there in the first place, though.
Wait, then that means the picture my mom took of you guys, the guy that's sitting right next to me is...
Now that you mention it, I think I know what happened. On that day, I'd met with 2 different men. I had dinner with my now husband, of course, but there was this random man that came to the restaurant before my husband arrived.
Are you telling me that the man sitting next to me is...
That's the random guy, I think. Well, he's not random to me anymore, but at the time he was. He so happens to be my husband's fashionable older brother. And he has a lot of borrowed money he's currently dealing with at the moment. My husband didn't end up inviting him to the wedding today, so that's why he's currently with you.
Older brother? And he's dealing with lots of borrowed money now?
On the day of our dinner date, he came in to talk with me about how he's the man I would be dating's older brother and that he needed our financial help. He knew about me being a publisher and tried to get me to start buying his own comics that he was making.
Comics?
He's always been a bit artistic as well when it comes to comics. But unlike his younger brother, he really sucks at illustrating and writing stories. So after reading one of those comics he was asking me to buy, I told him it was a no. He was told the same thing by many publishers actually, but he never gave up and soon went into major debt. Because he would never work a job, instead sitting in the house all day making those crappy comics.
He has never told me about how he makes comic books, and he sure has not told me about his debt. Anytime we've gone out on dates, he's always paid for me.
My husband's older brother had been married once before, and while he had a wife, he went to making comics because he noticed his younger brother doing so well from them. So with this dream of making loads of money himself doing what his brother did, he quit his job and started to draw and write. However, he spent all his time trying to make comics that he stopped spending any time with his wife and babies. So not too long after that, his wife took the baby and left. And ever since, he's been just digging and digging and digging himself into a deeper hole of debt.
You're lying, right? I never heard anything at all about that. He was married and he has a kid?
He's been trying to live a life of lies, and that's why he buys all of the really high-brand clothing. And if he were selling his comics instead of just continuing to write garbage, he'd probably be okay right now, but he hasn't been doing that. And instead keeps borrowing money to fuel his desire to buy every single piece of branded clothing. Fiona, you're going to marry him?
Hell no, not with a man like him. I don't need a man that can't become my bank.
Well, I'm planning on cutting ties to you soon. But if you get married to my brother-in-law, then we're going to have to continue being around one another a lot more than I'd like. So if you can, please break up with him right now.
Are you really married to that comic artist? You went and took my dream from me? And he chose to marry you over me? Why? I should be the one there right now married to him, not you. Had my mom not taken that picture at the wrong time, I could be there getting married to him.
It's actually really crazy that with just one picture, you were able to find my husband's brother and start dating him.
My mom told me that he left the restaurant before you did, and so she followed him out and asked for his number. She told him that she wanted to introduce him to a good friend of yours.
Aunt Laura really did it this time, then.
That's why after seeing the photo my mom showed me and the number she handed me, I gave him a call.
So your mom thought that because he was sitting down with me at that time, that she was there, that he was my boyfriend, even though my actual boyfriend was running a little late. And seeing him walk out of the restaurant before his younger brother came to have dinner with me, she must have thought my boyfriend was heading home, and that's why she went out and got his number. Your mom just made a minor mistake is all then.
That's right, one minor mistake. I haven't done anything wrong here. She was the one who made the mistake. And I only started to go out with this guy because of that mistake.
But you were doing all of this with the intent of stealing my boyfriend all at the time, right? In the end, there was never a problem for me, but I now understand what you've been completely after. And this only proves that you haven't changed from the Fiona you were in the past, who always treated me like trash. Now that I've been able to clearly see that you're still a terrible person, I can gladly say that I'm cutting ties to you. I need to do this before you start actually causing trouble to my husband and I.
You can't cut ties to me that easily. I'm one of your best friends, and we've been together forever.
You might happen to know where our parents live, but you don't know my address, right? The only way we've stayed in touch is through text, and that's pretty much it. All I have to do is block you, and that'll be it from you. I'll also let everyone else around us know what happened and to keep their mouths shut.
Do you really plan on cutting ties to me? I was hoping that at the very least after today, your husband would introduce me to some of his wealthy friends.
No way would he do that for you. He would never want one of his friends being used like that. That's why today was the last time I talked to you. Goodbye forever now, Fiona.
Winter, please help. I heard all about this from Fiona. I made some mistakes and introduced Fiona to the wrong man. I was being too hasty at the time.
Aunt Laura, this isn't even about you making a mistake there. The fact that you wanted her to have my fiancé is the problem. Why would you try doing something like that to me?
Well, you and her are longtime best friends, right? You should be telling her about the men you're with right away.
It's a bit messed up for you to go out asking my supposed fiancé at the time for his number in order to give it to Fiona.
Well, that was just, well, for instance, the wedding after party, all right? Maybe they had some things they wanted to talk about regarding that.
I'd never told you anything about our wedding yet then, right? I told you I'd update you at a later time if we chose something. But I never did that either. Are you sure you weren't doing all of that because you were hoping that Fiona would steal my fiancé from me?
Well, Fiona should be the one getting married before you. It's screwed up that you were getting married before her.
I always had this feeling ever since your family and mine started hanging out that you guys looked down on my family quite often. But I never thought you were all just complete nut jobs. I'm sorry to tell you, but I've already gone and cut ties with Fiona. And I'm planning on doing the same with you now. I have no desire to be around you two anymore in my life, so please leave me alone and never come looking for me ever again.
You wait just a second. Fiona and that man have come and moved into my house. They have both been using all my money, and they won't help with any of the chores here. And even worse than both of those things is that they are both sloppy pigs, making my house into one huge mess that I can never ever clean up. My husband has been so upset by all this that he's asking to divorce me now. My family's a complete mess right now. Please help us.
So in the end, she decided it was easiest just to become your parasite then. Well, you're not going to be getting any help from me.
She's been your friend forever, right? You and her have always been playing with one another and grew up together.
But you're her family, right? You were the one that birthed her and everything. I think you and your husband are much more responsible for her than I am, so do something yourselves, please.
No way.
Aunt Laura, you have never really been that good of a person to me, but this time you helped me out a lot.
Wait a second, Winter. Are you really going to cut ties to me, too?
Please enjoy having your look-alike daughter and her partner back in the house with you. Goodbye now. Even though she was the one asking for all this, Aunt Laura ended up kicking both Fiona and her boyfriend from the house. Fiona had tried to break up with her boyfriend, but he wouldn't let that happen as he needed her money to survive, and so they both are currently living in a cheap apartment together, where he's using her money to make more comics. The only thing is, Fiona doesn't work a very good job right now, so her income isn't all that much each month.